may not be aware that voters there at the Central African Republic went to the polls. Now, this is after several postponements to presidential elections. However, 20 of the 30 candidates have cried foul on vote counting. It has now emerged that all candidates running for president support the election, with 77% of votes being counted. Richard Chelin from Good Governance Africa is with us this morning. He'll be telling us a little bit about what we can expect. A very good morning to you, Richard. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
When can we expect election results?
Well, they should be coming out anytime soon because we already have, as we've seen, over 70% of the votes have been counted. So I would say within the next few days or couple of hours or so, election results should be out.
What's the overall sentiment regarding the credibility of the elections? We always know that there will be some quarters who will cry foul, but the question is, what have election officials in that country and perhaps even international observers had to say about the process?
Well, in comparison to the referendum that took place on the 13th of December, which was marred by violence in different polling stations, this election was currently peaceful. And there's been quite a high turnout, which over 2 million people were registered, and there's about over 72% of turnout, which shows the determination of the people to elect a new president or a new incumbent to the office.
Any merits to those who are crying foul now and saying that they believe one or two things may be out of place? Is there any substantial evidence to support that?
Well, at the moment, the international observers have not mentioned anything. For them, it's peacekeepers as well have mentioned that it's been quite relatively peaceful, as I just mentioned, and also quite credible because people, have voted and have turned out, and we have two main party leaders are in contention to winning the elections.
Let's talk a bit about those party leaders now. Who are the front runners?
Well, the current leader, the one who's has a slight lead is Faustin Touadéra, who is the former prime minister under François Bozizé from 2008 until the coup in 2013. And then the runner-up, or the one who is slightly behind, is Georges Deleguele, who is also a former prime minister under Potasse's government. So they're quite in the running. Those two are quite close. Therefore, commentators and analysts are saying that it will definitely be running for a run-up election on the 31st of January. So we're going to have a second round of elections.
And let's speak about their victory, respectively. What would it mean for the country, for that region, and for the continent at large if either one of them were to take the position?
Well, if either one of them were to take the position, it would mean that finally there would be end to the instability that overtook the country from the time of the coup, from 2013, 2014. It would mean that finally the country can be on the path of starting again, reconstructing and gaining stability. The economy can be recovering and fostering good governance as well. So it would be quite a positive for the nation and coming back from all this conflict and probably allowing the refugees to come back to their country. So it's quite a positive. It goes through quite well.
Of course, and the country has been in limbo for quite a while now. We do know that South Africa and their troops were involved there as well. But let's focus the matter back to the elections now and speak a little bit about the track record of those two leaders who are the contenders, who are top of the list at the moment. What does history tell us about their makeup, or what do we know about them that perhaps could tell us a bit more about what we can expect from their leadership should they take the position?
Well, firstly, it's the leader, actually, he's quite an outsider. He was not even predicted to be in the front runner, Touadéra, the former prime minister under François Bozizé, but it seems that the people are in support of him, so therefore they see something in him that they believe he can be the person who can foster that change and bring back stability as well. And we have the other former prime minister as well in Deleguele, who was under Potasse. So it seems like the people try to go with people that they know, and seeming that they believe that they are the two candidates that can bring stability to the country, or that can pull forward for change in the country.
From what I'm hearing, there seems to be a positive mood even among people in the Central African Republic. Has that anything to do with Pope Francis's recent visit there? Did it change the psyche of the people somewhat in any way?
Well, we have to remember that the majority of the CAR population are Christians, and the Pope visit did do some great deal of benefit as well. And we even remember that he went to visit a mosque And in the mosque, he even mentioned that Christians and Muslims are brothers and sisters. And surely he did have quite an impact, and he didn't worry about the security as such, concern and security threats. And he just went there and preached the message of peace and reconciliation. And I do think that that has played on the psyche of many of the people that he visited and touched.
Richard Chelin, a huge pleasure to have you with us this morning, and thank you so much for your time. Perhaps we can have you back once we know the election results. Good Governance Africa is where Richard Chelin is from, and we thank you so much for your time. Let's take a quick ad break. More from Morning Live when we come back. Don't go